Joel Confer Toyota BMW presents Forecast First from WTAJ.
Thanks, I'm Chief Meteorologist Joe Murgo. Thanks for joining us. We are live in Clearfield on the road, actually in Du Bois on the road at Doolittle's. We'll talk more about that coming up, but let's go ahead and take a look at your Doppler radar. The showers and thunderstorms, and some were severe thunderstorms, now out of the region for the most part, just in our far southern counties. But as we take a look at your forecast first planner for tomorrow, a good deal of sunshine, a refreshing start to the day, warm in the sunshine in the afternoon. We'll talk more about that. WTAJ News at 11 starts now.
Live from Clearfield County, this is WTAJ News on the road.
Well, welcome to WTAJ's On the Road segments in Clearfield County. We're at Doolittle's, and this is the Boxcar Brew Works. This wasn't here when we were here a year ago.
No,
Dr. Rice has been very busy here at Doolittle's.
Absolutely. It's only about, I think it'll be a year in September, and there's more stuff coming.
Oh, yeah, the new circus trains, which are going to be more bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
We had that preview of the train. They have a model train car that they're going to opening up this year. It's really neat what they have.
And those
going on here.
animatronic dinosaurs that he's bringing in as well. So we're going to tell you much more about what's going on behind us and what's going on in Clearfield County this week.
Yep, but first let's talk about the weather, and as we go ahead and take a look at our Doppler, we did have some strong thunderstorms around earlier, but the good news is it is mostly now in the southern part of our viewing area. I'll put it into a loop, and you can see the showers and thunderstorms are sinking to the south and east. And good news is it will clear on out. It'll become a bit breezy. But earlier, these thunderstorms, as we go ahead and take a look at some of the video, we broke into programming live because we were worried about a tornado warning, and this is damage that was done around the St. Francis University, and you could see that there were some tree branches down. There was also a large area of trees down right at the intersection of Route 53 and Route 22 in Cambria County, and I'm sure the National Weather Service is going to be surveying that tomorrow to go back and look a little more in depth at the storms as they move through. Let's go ahead and turn it over to Mike Doyle in the studio.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Here's a loop of the past, well, from 8 to 9 o'clock when those storms passed through Cambria and Blair County. And this was a storm right here that moved on through that caused that tornado warning to be issued. Again, we saw a lot of damage, a lot of pictures. A lot of you guys, our viewers, sent us pictures of the clouds and also some of the damage across the area, especially right around Route 22. Seems to be a lot of damage right there. So I'm sure that the National Weather Service will send out a team tomorrow or the next couple of days to look at that damage. But again, here's the hour from 8 to 9 of the storms that passed on by at that time. Here's what me and Joe were actually looking at. This is our velocity at that time, stopping the clock at 8:30 or so. Notice this green and red, how they are fighting each other. That's telling us that there was a bit of rotation and quite a bit of rotation up in the atmosphere. And when it's that strong, when you're seeing the red and green colliding like that, good bet that there's a bit of rotation. It could have been a funnel cloud at that time. Of course, we have nothing confirmed as of yet. Another look at the velocity at 8:45 p.m. towards Buckhorn, just north of Tunnel Hill. Asheville, again, seeing this green and red mixing like that, red going this way, green going that way. That's what we're looking at there. There's a few viewer pictures. Quickly, I'll show this. Jill from Duncansville, that's what we were looking at there earlier from 8 to 9. Also, Billy from Evansburg. You can see how scary those storms were. But now we're going to toss it back to Joe. We'll talk more about these storms and also what the plan is for this evening. Joe.
All right, well, thanks very much, Mike. And yeah, those were scary storms, and the National Weather Service, as I mentioned, are probably going to survey that. And it was a very strong signature. We were looking at the radar there. So, but now we can relax. And the weather's getting nice, and nice atmosphere behind us here at the Boxcar Brew Works, right?
Very nice. We'll have more with Joe in main weather ahead. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Amanda and I had sort of a switched role today here at Doolittle's, because I got to experience how they handle you when you have an anniversary. I was fortunate to have my anniversary today, so my wife and I were really treated by the staff here at Doolittle's. They set me up in this private box car. This is something they have available for folks that come for special parties and things like that. This was an amazing setup of food by Chef Tara. A tuna appetizer was great. We had filet mignon, and man, this lava cake was one of the best desserts I've had in recent years. And I got to say, just the way they took care of us here was great. My wife Anna County. Was very impressed with not only the presentation of the food, but also what they had available for the kids as well.
I think when we arrived here, I think the kids' activities stood out to me. The brewery and the diner were nice, and then this was more unique in terms of having your own private car for dinner.
And certainly an amazing night, great service here. That continues, so thanks to all the folks here at Doolittle's that helped us out, and thanks to Amanda too. So we again had different things going on. While we were having dinner, Amanda took over some other duties for us.
Yeah, I got to babysit your 3 wonderful boys, John.
Yes, wonderful. They're a handful.
Oh, absolutely. I learned that tonight.
Yeah.
3 boys is a lot to handle. I tried to take them mini golfing, but really it was just hard to keep them all in one place. They wanted to see the dinosaurs on the course and, of course, the volcano. They all wanted to climb to the top, so I did try to get them down. But, I could eventually wrangle them together for a picture, and I think, they had a good time.
I saw some dinosaurs and some alligators. Yeah! There's 2 alligators and a frog. And we got to go in trains.
And, John, they even picked me some flowers.
They are very sweet boys.
Yeah, they are
great
sweet
for
boys.
flowers and picking. So thanks again to Amanda for that. It was a really great time here at Doolittle's, and we're continuing with some live music here at the Brewworks area. Again, we're just so happy that Clearfield County is really turning out, helping us out as we're on the road this week. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All right, well, John, back in the 50s, the Grice family, if you're familiar with them, who hasn't in Clearfield County,
Yeah.
They opened up a little gas station on 3rd Street.
So this was really a small operation at first. They were selling reloading components for ammo. They would blue guns for you. Then they expanded into a more established gun shop. And as we found out on the road in Clearfield County, they developed a store there in Clearfield that really gets attention from across the state and around the nation. Now, in the 1980s, the Grice Gun Shop moved to Reed Street. It's now the biggest gun store in the state. That is an amazing thing as you look around and see all the product that they have on the shelves. As we found there, so many different items that they've got prepared for us. And this is a family that really has been a business. It's second, third, and almost 3rd generation now, serving unmet firearm needs originally in town. Now they're selling to licensed dealers around the country, selling items to customers directly and around the world.
We definitely have more guns than any store that I've ever seen really anywhere, but we've always touted that we were the biggest gun shop east of the Mississippi. And I think we can back that up.
And in addition to selling guns, ammo, and sports equipment, the store's become a huge advocate for Second Amendment rights, and the only day they are closed is Sunday. So it's really cool to check them out if you've never seen them before, that Grice Gun Shop. We are going to have much more on-the-road coverage of Clearfield County in a little bit, and as we continue throughout the week here in not just Du Bois, but we're in Clearfield, we're in Curwensville as well.
Absolutely. So tomorrow afternoon, we'll be at Denny's Beer Barrel Pub. That will be from 3 until 7, and of course, we hope that you do come out and join us there. Also, we have much more on-the-road coverage happening this summer. Over the next several weeks, we're also going to be visiting Center and Bedford counties. Of course, we want to hear from you about the events you have happening and the places you think that we should check out in your community. Just please send us a message on Facebook or leave us a comment at that WTAJ page.
Well, of course, we're going to have much more on-the-road coverage from Clearfield County in a little bit, but first we've got to check in with our Charlotte Ames, who's back in the studio with more on some news items of the day. Charlotte?
Thanks, guys. We're continuing to follow a developing situation out of Huntingdon County where a car was hit by a train. It happened just before 3:30 this afternoon in Mill Creek Walker Township. Witnesses told us the train was going about 20 miles an hour when it hit that white Volkswagen at the railroad crossing along William Penn Highway.
A little after 3 o'clock, I was sitting inside, and I hear trains come by all the time. And today I heard a bang when the train was going by, and I looked up. By the time I got right over to the door, the train was pushing the car down the road.
The woman inside the car was taken to the hospital with unknown injuries. Officials say they aren't sure why the car was on the tracks. We're continuing to learn more about a deadly crash this morning in Blair County. It happened just before 7 o'clock on I-99 North, just outside Tyrone, when a Jeep crossed over the median and hit a GMC truck. Altoona resident Mark Lee was killed in that crash. The driver of the Jeep was taken to the hospital and we're told in critical condition. Today in Center County, Ryan Burke was the first Beta Theta Pi brother to plead guilty to charges related to the death of Timothy Piazza. He pleaded guilty to all 9 criminal charges against him, including hazing and furnishing alcohol to minors. Burke's attorney says he pleaded guilty to accept responsibilities for his actions. He is scheduled to be sentenced on July 31st. The city of Johnstown will soon be under new management. Our Lindsay Kennett attended tonight's council meeting where members agreed to hire a new city manager. She has this story.
Johnstown City Council voted to hire George Hayfield, a former Westmoreland County City Administrator, to take the reins here in Johnstown. Hayfield has a background in planning and urban development, working in small and poor communities in Virginia, North Carolina, and Tennessee. He comes to Johnstown as the former manager for the city of Arnold, just outside of Pittsburgh, and says he's prepared to tackle the issues facing the city.
The problems here are much like where I'm coming from right now. It's the same issues with the loss of industry, decline in population, and decreasing tax base. These are problems shared by quite a few communities in southwestern PA.
Hayfield takes on his new role as Johnstown City Manager on July 1st. Reporting in Johnstown, I'm Lindsay Kennett, WTAJ News.
Thanks, Lindsay. Information on how local schools are performing may become easier to find. A bill approved by the state Senate Education Committee would create a website for parents, students, and the public to access the information. The bill would require districts to post a link to the new website on their website homepage and to include all reported information on test scores and other assessments of performance. The bill now heads to the state Senate for consideration. Still ahead on WTAJ News at 11, we're getting ready for more fun on the road coverage with a special performance from a local musician. Plus, the Mounties are bringing their own energy to the state title game. That story and more coming up in sports.